I returned last weekend from vacation in Nassau in the Bahamas. And while I was there, I visited with Archbishop Pinder. I visited with Sister Marva, who is the principal of our sister school, St. Bede's in Nassau, the smallest and poorest of the Catholic schools on the island. And I celebrated and preached the Masses at our sister parish, St. Francis Xavier Cathedral, 2 weeks ago on January the 13th. And I took with me the greetings, the prayers, the affection of all of us here at St. Joseph's for all of them. And they wanted me to let you know how much we are all in their prayers and in their hearts. And I must tell you that when I delivered greetings from our parish, St. Joseph's, to St. Francis Xavier Cathedral family, the whole cathedral broke out in applause. We opened Catholic Schools Week this week, and in the bulletin this weekend, you'll find a couple of very wonderful flyers. One announcing an open house for St. Joseph School this Friday, February the 1st, and another one that has some thank yous from graduates of our parish, St. Joseph School. Thank yous to all of the members of our parish. And I know they really touched and warmed my heart, and I hope you have an opportunity to see them because I know they will touch and warm your heart as well. Matthew opens the public life of our Lord today in the gospel in what I think is a rather odd way. I don't think I would have done it that way. It's a good thing I'm not St. Matthew. But I think if I were to do it, I would have had Jesus preaching a very powerful sermon to begin his public life, and then healing lots and lots of sick people to drive home the point. But that's not what Matthew portrays today. He has Jesus opening his public life by asking for help. Jesus goes to Peter and his brother Andrew as they're casting their nets into the sea and says, "I need you. Come and follow me." He goes to James and his brother John, who are mending their fishing nets with their dad. And he says to the two boys, "Come, follow me. I need you." Now here is the Son of God asking the help of 4 fishermen. "Come and follow me," he says, "and I will make you fishers of men and fishers of women." That's how he does it. He calls ordinary people. Jesus, the Son of God, does not act like the Lone Ranger. He asks for help. And he asks for our help too. Why are you here right now? The answer to that question is because God invited you to be here. God invited you to be here, and you said yes to that invitation. He has called you and me by name in baptism, just as he called Peter and Andrew and James and John to come and follow me, and I will make you fishers of men and women. I ask you today, how many fish have you caught for Jesus? How many people have you helped to know the Lord and be part of his family by casting his net of love and mercy widely? When was the last time that you consciously went fishing with our Lord? Now, we all have answers to those questions, but I'll bet that most of our answers have qualifications to them. And they might be things like this. Well, I'd like to be of help, but religion is, well, it's such a personal matter. It's such a private matter. What we do here in church is one thing, but what people do outside this church is really their own business. Well, there is some truth to that religion is personal and has its private side. However, our theory gets blown out of the water by today's gospel. Because Jesus was inviting Peter, Andrew, James, and John to be his followers, not in a private setting, but in a public setting, in the workplace. He went to where they worked. They were fishermen. And he said, "Come and follow me, and I will make you fishers of men and fishers of women." Another objection that we can raise is, well, I don't want to be too pushy about my faith. I don't want to wear my faith on my sleeve. Well, that sounds at the moment very humble. However, underneath that humble guise might be fear. How am I going to be looked at? How am I going to be received? How is my message going to be taken? I would remind you of this. If our Holy Father, Pope Benedict, the Vicar of Christ on earth, the successor of St. Peter, never spoke until he had polled the world to find out what our world is willing to accept, what our world would like to hear, what our world does not want to hear, he would not be a good and faithful Holy Father. The message of Christ is for when it's convenient and when it's inconvenient. When it's popular, when it's not. It is the word of Christ, who is the way, the truth, and the life. So don't be afraid. Come and follow me.